and he spent, so much of his life out doing energetic things.
Hi everyone, I'm still at home, and I'm still following the news of the Duke's death, and there isn't much to do, so I'm just watching it on TV. So yeah, I'm just watching the proceedings on my television. I hope you can hear me. Okay, so I'm just following the proceedings of what's happening with the Duke and the news, the biggest news in the country. Tell me whether you can hear my television. Let me see if I can share the screen with you. What channel is this? Because that's all they're talking about, BBC One. Right, let me log on to the BBC. Let me log on to the BBC website. It was with deep sadness that I learned of the passing of the Duke of Edinburgh today. BBC News channel live on iPlayer. I need to sign in, put my username. I'm just going to sign in to the BBC at Gmail. My thoughts are with the British people and the royal family on the passing away of His Royal Highness the Prince Phillip, Duke of Edinburgh. He had a distinguished career in the military. So I'm just signing in so we can follow the news. We can't find an announcement. Oh, okay. Right, let me see if I can go on to YouTube, BBC News there. The news. Let's see if I can get the news. Expressing condolences on behalf of all of Congress, saying the US Congress extends condolences for the passing. BBC News live. Distinguished by an inspiring ethic of dedicated service. So let's see. Is there any live broadcast? Right, there's a live broadcast. We can open that one. Oh. So let's put the live broadcast on. The internet is a bit right, let's share that. And I might have to put that off, and so we can share the screen on the BBC. So share screen, and I'm gonna share the Chrome tab and watch Sky News. Hopefully we can all let's reduce the volume and skip the ads. So there's the guy. It was impressive, but we shouldn't forget, Chris, that he became the youngest officer in the Royal Navy to be made. So he was the youngest officer in the Navy. That's interesting. I knew that he was he fought for World War II. But yeah, these are the tributes coming in about him. Let's see. So there's ITV News, there's Sky News, and okay, that's Sky. Sky doesn't. I think I prefer BBC. Do we have a BBC channel that's running right now? I'm bored and I'm not really doing anything. You can't go anywhere, so I can't really call my friends to meet up and chat. So I just thought we'll sit here and chat together to talk about Prince or whatever else you want to talk about. But yeah, I'm learning some very interesting facts about him that I didn't always know about. Let's see. Uh ITV News. I tend to prefer BBC, but let's see what ITV is talking about. Whoopsie daisy. Oh, that's loud.
Okay, let's come and
So basically, it's all that we're talking about.
Going back to that decision that Lord West was talking about, just that, do you think if we were looking at it through the prism of today, which of course we can't, the royal family of today might decide that someone in his position shouldn't give up his career, or do you think that was just inevitable that he had to and was always going to have to?
I think he had to. He had to give up his career, definitely. He definitely had to give up his career at the time. I don't know how much of this is going to be. I'm not a fan of Harry's wife. No, I'm not a fan of Harry's wife. Queen is still the head of Canada. Yes. Yeah, we're just gonna watch. I don't want this to be flagged as copyright, so I have to comment on it as it's going on.
Institution, but it does change, and I wouldn't. Maybe they would have considered that request of his to keep his naval career perhaps a little bit more warmly than they did at the time. But 1952 came along, the sudden death of King George VI. His wife was suddenly sovereign, and it all had to come to an end. And I think he's always looked back at those years that he and the Queen had in Malta when he was in charge of HMS Magpie as perhaps the most normal that it ever got. If you put to one side his very nomadic childhood, his very dysfunctional childhood in many ways.
Yep, he did have quite a dysfunctional childhood. I was just reading that he was born in Greece, and that when he was 1 year old, that they had to run away from Greece basically because his father was being being hunted down for doing something bad during the war. So he had to be smuggled out of Greece at the age of 1. And then they moved to Paris, and then he lived in Paris up to the age of 10. And then his mother had a nervous breakdown and had to go back to Greece. And then his father went off with his partner, his new girlfriend, and lived on a yacht in Monte Carlo, or the south of France somewhere. So basically, he was kind of a loner on his own from about the age of 10. He went to boarding school, and then basically he was a loner on his own. And I was even reading somewhere that when he was in boarding school, I think the age of 13 or so, when he signed into the school, he actually put his name there, and he put, when they asked for the address, he put of no fixed abode. So you can imagine a 12-year-old having no fixed abode. That must have been really difficult for him. So we look at all these people sometimes in their royalty and glamour and all this kind of thing, but a lot of them, you don't know where people are coming from, or you don't know if people have had a very difficult past, because sometimes we think that people have had a very privileged past when in fact they may not have had a privilege. They might be born into a privileged family, but it doesn't mean that he had a privileged childhood. Yeah, he went to university, he went to boarding school, but he didn't necessarily have a supported childhood, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, he's kind of one of us in that sense, because he had issues as well, family issues, which he had to overcome, which he never really overcame, because he never really got to see his 4 sisters proper again since he was about 10, properly, because then he was now part of the royal family, and he kind of had to continue his own life as a member of the royal family. So that's quite interesting. We're not allowed to go out. We've been told we're not allowed to take flowers anywhere. So even if I wanted to go to London to go and put flowers in Buckingham Palace, or if I wanted to go anywhere to put flowers to commemorate. The government has told us that we're not allowed to, which is very sad because many of us, the way we British do things is that when we lose people like that, we usually like to go and lay flowers near the person's house or where they died. That's a very British tradition. And now we've been told we're not allowed to do that. So it's like we're not allowed to do anything. You guys in America are so lucky because you can still do stuff. But in England, we literally are not allowed to do anything apart from go and buy food, go and see your GP, and go out for exercise. Nothing else is going to be open, and nothing has been open since Christmas. You know, they might open stuff up on the 12th. I think some of the shops are going to open on the 12th, but we've literally not been able to do anything. And the other sad thing I heard was that when he was in hospital for the last few months, I think he was in hospital for 30 days or so, because of corona, people could not visit him as well. So he had to be in hospital. I think they said only Prince Charles was able to visit him. So he had to be in hospital on his own. And I remember when my nephew died, what's today's date? 12th is going to be his the anniversary of when he had his accident, and he died on the 19th. When my nephew had an accident on the 12th of last year, my 20-year-old nephew, and he was taken to hospital, the same thing happened. Nobody could go and see him apart from his dad. So it's just been a tough time for everybody where normal visits are not allowed. I don't know what it's like in America, but in the UK at the moment, people still can't visit family in hospital. So you just have to pray that you don't get sick, because literally people have died alone in hospital for the last 1 year, apart from children, but people have died alone. He's 99, but it just makes me think of all the other families that have lost people. So let me see what they're saying about him now.
On his naval career, they just had Prince Charles and soon to have Princess Anne, and yet
they had 5 children.
In 1952, he accepts it. He's spoken as much as well, but I think it was a very tough decision.
Yeah, he always accepted his fate.
But just very briefly on that decision to give up his career, we shouldn't forget that was a really remarkable decision at the time. I mean, most men in his position didn't contemplate such a thing, let alone actually do it.
So you can imagine in those days, the man had to live. Yes, in those days, men did not contemplate being subservient to their wives. Can you imagine? Men did not contemplate being subservient to their wives. Somebody asked me earlier, why do I think he's a legend? Because he's a pace setter. In those days, the women were behind the man, but he was the one person who had to be behind his wife all the time. It was way on, not, it wasn't the usual thing for men to do, but he did it so well and with such elegance. That's why I said he was an icon. So for me, I think that he was kind of like one of the earliest feminists, even though he's a guy. I think he was one of the earliest feminists because he really did play his role as the consort, as the side person to the Queen very well. So let's listen to what they're saying some more.
Had to be, and he had to sort of pledge his allegiance to his wife when at her coronation at Westminster Abbey in 1953.
He knelt down in front of her to do that.
Difficult for him. So as much as I think some people might think that he was a man of his generation, I think he was a man ahead of his generation.
Yep, I agree.
To accept a lot of those decisions that were made and all the decisions we've discussed in the past hour on this program about the name, Mountbatten name, and the fact his first 2 children didn't have it.
Yeah, that's another thing I found out today, which is that they didn't, the establishment, i.e. the royal establishment, did not allow Prince Charles and Princess Anne to take their father's name. They actually took the name Windsor. They didn't take the Prince Philip's name. I didn't know that, you know. I knew they were Windsors, but I didn't know the history behind it. So the more I'm getting to know about this guy, the more I'm just realizing that he's one in a million, really. I don't think people like Kevin Samuels will like him because he would be what they would consider the SIMP kind of variety of men, which is absolutely nonsense. Absolutely nonsense. Because the strongest men, in my view, the strongest men are the men that don't feel the need to say that they're alpha or to say that they're strong or to say, they don't enforce their masculinity on the world. Those are the strongest men to me. Really strong men do not argue about masculinity or argue that women should submit and all that kind of nonsense. Who would look at Prince Philip? Hi, Ori Love. Hi. Who would look at Prince Philip and call him a simp? Who would look at Prince Philip and call him a beta? He's the ultimate alpha in the way that he did his things. Everybody knows him. But then, even in his masculinity and his strongness, he was able to step back and play the role of the Queen's consort, at least in public for the world to see, without any qualms. But then you get all these other men online with their 500,000 followers saying stupid things like, oh, I'm talking about Kitten Hills and his cohort. Oh, men are high value men. All high value men need are women who are going to shut up, make them sex, silence, and sandwich. That's what a high value man. How can you get any more high value than Prince Philip in this world? Can you get any more high value than the Prince Philip, the Queen's consort of a whole country and the Commonwealth? Do you see him anywhere outside saying women are supposed to shut up or women are supposed to be just give me a sandwich and keep quiet? Women are supposed to be silent. You don't see him saying that. Real men don't talk about that crap. When a man feels he has to say the kind of things that, oh, you shouldn't expect a man to be good in sex, you shouldn't expect a man to be be nice to a woman. Alpha men are only about their brand and their business. They don't have time for family. That's all a whole load of bullshit. Right? Heaven, don't you agree? Because the Queen's husband, will you not say that he was a man's man? He was a man's man, but yet he treated her with a, can I have some of that? He treated her with a whole lot of respect. He treated her with a whole lot, and he treated his daughters with a whole lot of respect, and he treated women in general with a whole load of respect. He wasn't telling people that my view. So the internet is not so good. I think the internet is not so good. He was the alpha male character. You see, I just said that. He was an alpha male character and he was used to commanding a ship during the war. That's what I just said.
Pushing modernization actually in all kinds of ways that we quickly forget, but were really remarkable at the time. He was the outsider, and he was the person. In many ways, you could kind of sort of acknowledge what Princess Anna went through, and maybe what Meghan Markle went through as well.
Because he was an outsider.
Mm-hmm. He modernized it in his own way. He got rid of certain things he thought were just far too out of date, and he encouraged his wife to do that as well. When we talk always about the Second Elizabethan era, we're talking about the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, which she did alongside the Duke of Edinburgh, and the modernising instinct that he had at all times, from the very outset, from televising the coronation in 1953 all the way through to later years. He was pushing
he was always pushing. He was always pushing the boundaries, trying to do things differently. So he was very He was a forward thinker. I remember that he did some redecoration. From what I heard, he did some redecoration of the palace. For the first time when he came here, the palace televised the speeches and showed, documentaries of what they used to do in the palace and things like that, which they never did before. So he was kind of a pioneer in his way. I find it rather interesting. Sorry, guys, if I'm boring you, but I think this is rather interesting. Right, let's watch a bit more.
I mean, I'm sure we'll come onto it in a minute, but it's hard to get your head around that after such a long marriage and such a long reign together, she is now on her own. And that's the sadness of the story today, is that we now have a widow queen.
I know, we now have a widow queen.
To be by her side when the doors are closed. Okay, well, let's pick that up in a moment, but it has just gone 4 o'clock. Prince Philip's death means that the rest of today's schedule has had to change.
Everything has had to change today. Nobody is doing anything else.
Has a special documentary on the Duke of Edinburgh. At 6 o'clock, the news from your area will run as normal, followed by the ITV National News. Then, from 7 o'clock, Juliet Chingham.
Basically, most of the programs in the UK at the moment have been suspended on the main channels because all everybody wants to hear about is the Duke of Edinburgh, because it's a big deal. But in the meantime, if you have any comments, put it in there. But that's all I'm that's all I'm listening to today. I just can't focus on anything else. I think that he deserves for at least everybody to give him today, really, after he has given us 70 years anyway. Let me know if the internet is breaking up so that I can either come off and jump back on again. But let me know if there's any problem with the signal. Right, so let's see what else is going on.
Philip Schofield will present a lot. We've been bringing you this afternoon is that the Duke of Edinburgh has sadly died at the age of 99.
That is all we're talking about in the country right now. And she called him her beloved husband.
Where he returned in March after a month-long stay in hospital. Tributes have
99.
all across the globe, with world leaders joining Boris Johnson in sending their condolences. And at the gates of Buckingham Palace and indeed at Windsor Castle, people have been leaving flowers.
In case you're wondering, I'm snacking on almonds. This is when they brought the announcement to the gate.
This afternoon, 4 short paragraphs marking the end of a long life, one of the longest in service to this country. It is with deep sorrow.
Yeah, here we go.
Majesty the Queen announces the death
Oh,
of her beloved husband, His Royal Highness the Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. The announcement read. His Royal
it's
Highness
too
departed
noisy.
peacefully this morning.
It's too noisy.
Further announcements will be made in due course. The royal family join with people around the world in mourning his loss.
The royal family.
Flags at half-mast.
Did you see that? Did you hear that message? The royal family join with others to mourn his loss. Meanwhile, he is their family. He is their dad. He is her husband. She's not saying, I am calling you guys to come and mourn my loss. So even in her sorrow, she's still putting the country before herself. Did you notice that Heaven? What I just said? Even in her moment of grief, she's still putting the country before herself. Instead of her to say, my loss, I'm inviting the country to mourn my loss, she's saying that the royal family are mourning the loss of the country. That's what she said, right? That's what you call selflessness. That's just taking duty and selflessness to the stratosphere. When people ask me why are you a royalist or why are they legends, it's just those little things like that. It's not little, it's a big deal, but if you're not paying attention, you won't notice it. I hope this live is clear. Let me know if it's not clear. But if you're not paying attention to the words, you won't notice it. She did not own the death. She gave the death to the country. And she talked as if she is just a subject. Yeah. She did not keep it to herself. That's Buckingham Palace. For those of you who are in the States, there's our Prime Minister. The longest serving consort. He was the longest serving consort in the world. Serving people that fought in the Second World War. Somebody was asking me, why was he a legend? Those are
to steer the royal family and the monarchy. So it remains an institution executively vital.
Friday, the 9th of April, 2021. It's a day that's going to go down in history. That's going to go down, in our, as it's going to go down in history. The day that the Duke of Edinburgh died. We are all watching history, right? So sorry, guys. I got cut off because our internet is not so good. But basically, what I was saying is that today is history in the making. Oh, the live is clear. Wonderful. Hi, Amanda. The live is clear. Thank you, because my internet has been dipping in and out. World War II hero mentioned in the dispatches. Duke of Edinburgh Award Program, exactly, in 144 countries. Thank you, Amanda. I'm Joseph. Served over 800 charities as a patron. Amen. Encourage young poor people into horse riding. That's right. Served our gracious Queen. Here we go. There's Amanda, my beautiful friend Amanda J. She's just come here to tell us all why he is a legend. You see, we British people, we don't play with our monarchy, you know. Why is he a legend? These are the reasons. He's a World War II hero. He was in the Navy. My lips, sorry. Today is not about beauty. Sorry if I don't look all made up. But today is not about beauty. Today is not about my beauty. Today is just paying tribute to Prince Philip. So excuse me if my lips are chaffed, if I've not made the usual effort to look good. World War II hero in the Royal Navy. He was captain of his own ship. He was mentioned in the dispatches. Duke of Edinburgh Award is an award that he used to make sure he basically gave a lot of children things like scholarships to be able to excel in their field in secondary schools. Even in my child's secondary school, they have it too. In 144 countries, served over 800 charities as patron, encouraged young poor people into horse riding, served our gracious Queen, and was also quite a pioneer in engineering. And he served the gracious Queen as the best husband ever. He was the most alpha man, but then at the same time, he was the most attentive. If you want to know what a husband is supposed to be like, please look at Prince Philip, because even though he's a man, 6 foot, he was way, way taller than the Queen. very handsome, everything. Alpha man, like head of a lot of the big societies that men belong to, if you know what I mean. But still, he treated his wife so graciously. Please don't listen to Kevin Samuels and his cohort. These are the kind of high value men treat their wives properly. Okay, high value men treat their wives properly. Let's watch a bit more.
national life. We remember the Duke for all of this, and above all, for his steadfast support for Her Majesty the Queen.
At Windsor, where he spent his last weeks with the Queen, flowers.
Somebody was telling us today on the television that she will walk into the room, you know, there will be hundreds on and off because my internet is bad. So internet is bad. At the moment, everybody's online. Let me see if I can switch off. Hold on. Let me see if I can switch off some of my gadgets. Right, I've just switched off one more gadget. Let me know if you can hear me, please, or if it's please just put a note if you can hear me. If not, I might come off and come back on. Just make a note to let me know if you can hear me, Maddie or Ori. Let me come off the internet on this one. Can you hear me, guys? Okay, okay. Yeah. Oh, yes, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. Amanda said Prince Philip also looked after his mom, which is true because his mom had some mental health issues, and do you know the mom, Amanda, the mom actually lived with them in Buckingham Palace for the last years of her life, you know. They gave her an apartment in the palace and she lived there until she died. Yeah, she was a legend because Prince Amanda, you know your history. His mom was Princess Alice. She actually saved some Jewish people from being killed by the Nazis in Greece. She rescued from Nazis. She helped them hide when the Nazis were trying to kill. His mother is in as well. Yeah, I heard that she was buried in Right, we're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. It was still recording. I'm surprised. Right, let's put we're back. We are back. Very strange. I'm not sure how this works. Okay. So anyway, I think it might have gone on and come back on. Gone off and come back. I don't know how StreamYard works. So, hi ladies, I'm not sure how this program works. But can you just tell me, did I just go dead for I've just rebooted my internet, and so hopefully it's gonna stay working properly. But what happened? I was off for about 5 minutes. What happened? Did you guys I was off for about 7 minutes. Did it just go blank, or how does it show up on your end? Who's on? Just explain to me how it showed up. Does anybody want to come on and chat? Does anybody want to? Let me put the link on the thing. Right, let's copy that. If anybody wants to come on and chat with me. Okay, so yeah, it's been weird with the internet. So let's see what's happening here.
The Duke might not have been known for his own sentimentality. Many across this country now wish to express their affection.
My heart just breaks for the Queen and the family, because she lost her husband, and such a stability in the country, I think, for the royal family. So, yeah, just deeply sad.
I've met him personally as at the 12 Windsor Scout Groups just down the road. And so also doing this Duke of Edinburgh programme, you know, it's left quite an impression on me, and I'm sure the rest of the UK as well.
He's met him.
Of all 4 UK nations, but Duke of Edinburgh. And in the Scottish capital today, an announcement was also placed outside Holyrood House.
He had a close...
This is the First Minister of Scotland. This is the First Minister of Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon. So she's giving her own tribute. He's obviously the Duke of Edinburgh, and Edinburgh is in Scotland. So even though he's the prince of all the 4 nations, which is England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Yeah, England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. He's the prince of all 4 nations, and the Queen is the queen of all 4 nations. He's actually the Duke of Edinburgh, which is based in Scotland. And his son, Prince Charles, is the Prince of Wales, which is another place in the UK, with their own devolved parliament, with their own parliaments. Okay, so there's a tribute here.
Scotland, I know that he enjoyed all of the time he spent at Balmoral. He had a very long association as Chancellor with the University of Edinburgh. But probably above all of that, the Duke of Edinburgh Awards scheme transformed the lives and gave hope and inspiration to countless numbers of young people.
Crowds have continued to gather outside royal residences this afternoon.
But they've told us all to go home. They've told us to go home. They don't want us to come out, which is sad.
The pandemic, but many want to pay their respects, even in extraordinary times, to the Duke of Edinburgh, who helped see this.
Oh, rest in peace, His Royal Highness.
Chris, as we could just see, obviously flowers beginning to be placed, as you were talking about earlier, at the gates of Buckingham Palace and at Windsor. As you will remember,
They don't want us to come out. They don't want us to come out.
was the death and the funeral of the Queen Mother. It began in quite a quiet way.
I remember when the Queen Mother died as well. But yeah, they don't want us to come out because of Oh, hi Aldi. I'm glad that you could catch the live stream. I hope it's clear. I've had internet problems. Yeah, we've been told not to come out because of COVID. And normally he would have had a state funeral whereby everybody would be able to stand by the streets and watch the procession and everything. But now they've told us that we're not going to be able to do that. They're just going to bury him privately in Windsor. And they don't want people to come out on the streets. And even now they're telling us that they don't want people to put flowers, come to the different palaces to put flowers. So it's not just like we're not even allowed to like mourn him really the way that we want to, because of COVID. So that's actually now kind of adding insult to the injury, kind of making it more painful, because like he died now today. Under normal circumstances, what most families would do, Amanda, if you're on the live stream, you can tell me. Yeah, do I think Prince Harry and his wife will attend the funeral? If Prince Harry misses the funeral, I will never say his name from my mouth again. But I do not think that Meghan is going to come. I think that Meghan is going to say because of her pregnancy, she can't travel. But if Prince Harry doesn't turn up, can you imagine that? Yeah, we're in lockdown, RD. We're in what we call the lockdown of lockdowns. In America and everywhere else, they're locked down, but our own lockdown has been, Amanda, you tell people, if you want to come on live, Amanda, I don't mind. If you want, I will send you the link if you want to come on live and join me and explain to people why it's such a big deal, what's happening now. But basically, we've been on lockdown since just before Christmas, and all the restaurants are closed, all the gyms are closed, everything is closed. The only thing you can do is go and buy food like takeaway, but you can't really do anything else. But touch wood, we've had a very strong immunization effort, and 30 million of us out of the 66 million have been vaccinated, and I think about 3 million have had 2 vaccinations or so. So on the 12th, which is today is 9, 10, 11, in 3 days time, they're going to reduce lockdown to allow non-essential shops to open. They're going to finally allow the hairdressers to open, and the things like the barbers shops to open. I don't remember if they said they were going to allow cinemas to open. I think restaurants can open oh, she can't right now. That's fine. Restaurants can open. Amanda, can restaurants open on the 12th? But I think it's for outdoor dining only. The restaurants are opening for outdoor dining only. I don't think they are allowing indoor dining. And then the hotels and the gyms are opening. But the hotels and all that are going to open in May. Because I know that my first booking for a holiday is in May, because I can't go anywhere in April. So we've been on lockdown. That's why Prince Philip, when he was in hospital, only Prince Charles could go and visit him, because even for the prince, they didn't allow visitors, because the hospitals don't allow visitors. It's like, I told you, I don't know if you guys know, but my nephew, outdoor dining only, right? Thanks, Amanda. Outdoor dining only from the 12th. So we can't even sit in restaurants. So you guys who are living in America, Amanda, they've been living it up in America, isn't it? Hotels open, flights everywhere. At the moment in the UK, if we travel, we're going to have to pay 5,000. Yeah, Audi in Texas, yeah, pretty much a normal life. Yeah. You guys are so lucky. What was the death toll like in Texas? Because yeah, there's pretty much been no lockdown in Texas at all. I've seen all my friends in Texas. Life is just carrying on as normal. And I'm jealous, to be honest, because we've had a year of being on house arrest. We've had a year of lockdown, basically. It's just been literally awful. It was fun it was never fun, but it was tolerable for the first 6 months because it was a novelty. And then winter came, and then we got tired, and now we thought it'd be over, and we're still on it. So we're all getting tired. Even the mildest mannered typical British person right now is getting really tired. So and if it goes on for any longer, I'm pretty much just gonna take my kids and move to Nigeria until they sort themselves out, or move to the States or something. I might just, move to. We got M has a villa in Florida. I might just decide to go and stay outside the country for a year. Because, man, I was asking my friend today actually, not the other day, I was like, oh my God, how long are we going to stay inside avoiding death? Or is it better to live a life and just hope for the best, So, yeah, we're kind of really tired of lockdown, but we're still on lockdown over here, my babe. We're still on lockdown. My nephew was sick last year. None of us could go and see him in the hospital. And he was in hospital from the 12th on his birthday to the 19th before he died. And only my brother could see him. And we couldn't even go for the funeral. He was only 20. So it's just been, he didn't die of COVID. He had an accident. But it's just been a crap year for most people, really. Yeah, that's what we got. We live in what we call a nanny state. Our country, the government of our country is very paternalistic. It is very overprotective of its people. And so a lot of the laws that we have in place kind of border on your civil liberties, but it's because they're trying to protect you. So that's why people always laugh at England as if they call it the nanny state. It's like the government is the nanny of the people. Like, you're not allowed to do this, and you're not allowed to do that, and you're not allowed to do this. And we're all like little kids. Yes, daddy. Yes, government. Yes, government. And that's really how we are in England. We're a nanny state. And it's just the way we live. But it's a great country, actually. Don't get me wrong. It's a great country. When everything is working well, we love it because they're protective of us. When you're sick, you get free medical care. So it's not like the States where you have to have your private insurance. We have national insurance, but you pretty much get very good care when you're sick. And when you're retired, you get a good pension. If you get a state pension, which will not make you rich, but it will put you above just on the poverty line, kind of, but you're not going to starve to death. So they do look after you for things like that. If you're not working, you get income support. So the country looks after you with quite a range of social security safety nets to stop its people from suffering. So it nannies you, but it is protective of you at the same time. But the trade-off of you being protected all the time is that you have to do what you're told. And if you don't do what you're told, then you get into trouble. You either get a fine or, most of the time it's a fine, really. They don't really beat you up or anything, but you get a fine. So, for example, they've told us nobody's allowed to leave the country until June. So even if you have the money, whatever, you're not allowed to leave this country as part of lockdown until June, unless you're going for a medical emergency or you're going for family death, or I think it's a wedding. But there are certain reasons why you can go. But if you go for any other reason apart from that, you get a £5,000 fine. So everybody has to stay at home. At the Naked Truth with Annette. Well, yes, dear. What you just said something. You just mentioned my name. Did you want to ask me a question? You don't really. want what you're asking me for. You don't really. What a strange name. What's the story behind that name? So yeah, we've been on lockdown, but we have a lot of protective services at the same time. So you know, most of us have turned our houses into into self-sufficient forts. So like I bought. Thank you. Oh, hi Jennifer. Oh, hi Jennifer. Hi. I just want to say I sent a message, but I just want to say please accept my sympathy for your beautiful mom. Your wonderful mom who passed away. Please accept my sympathy, Jennifer. I'll have to give you a call. I don't want to talk too much about it here, but I miss her, and I know you were super, super close to her. And I remember sewing. Do you remember when I sewed some clothes for you to wear to a party? And I sewed some for your mom as well. So yeah, that's my fondest memory of her. And yeah, she was amazing. So yeah, your name the naked truth. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, your name is strange. It keeps people from something. Yeah, from asking. Right, it's a very strange name. But yeah, Jennifer, it's good to see you, and I hope you're doing well. Prince, you probably know how the Queen is feeling because you've just had a loss yourself recently. But yeah, it's just been a crazy year for everybody. So yeah, how do you feel about the Prince Philip's loss? Did it hurt you, Jennifer? Because I cried. I was gutted. Not you would think that it was my grandfather that died, but yeah, it's just like an icon of the country, you know. He makes all those gaffes, remember? He used to say some really politically incorrect things, just because he was of that old school. So let's see what they're talking about online.
Death wasn't a surprise after all, but it really did build. And in those final days, people were queuing for hours and for miles across the bridges. You'll remember it.
That was the Queen Mother. This is what I was just saying. There's nothing for us to do.
We've already seen today people laying flowers outside the Cambridge Gate, which is at the end of the Long Walk in Windsor. We've seen some at Buckingham Palace as well. And that's despite, and here's some flowers here, that's despite people being told not to do it. And the overriding priority over the next 8 or 9 days until the funeral, and we await for the Queen's decision on the funeral, is that there should be no gathering of the public in order to put public health at risk. And that's going to be very difficult because people are bringing flowers of their own volition at the moment. We saw little children there.
And this is the thing, when there's a grief, this is the thing. Hi, Jessica Hicks. Hi. Yeah, it's been a strange year. We're on lockdown for another. Where are you? Are you in the UK too? Or are you in Spain? Or are you in Italy? Another 4 weeks. But basically, when this kind of crisis happens, like a bereavement of a head of state or your family, now what am I eating? Oopsie daisy. Let me show you what I'm eating. Sorry that I'm being rude and eating online. I'm eating roasted almonds. When my nephew died, me and my brother, we couldn't have, like, my brother went to the funeral, obviously because it was his son, and then my younger brother went, but that was it. 4 weeks here, Canada. I couldn't go. I never saw his dead body. I was not allowed to visit him when he was in hospital. Jennifer, I don't know what the situation was with your mom, but you know, when your mom passed away a few weeks ago, and whether she was in hospital before she passed away, but when these things happen, you can't even go and see your family in the hospital. You're not allowed to see your family in the hospital. So he had the accident on the 12th and he died on the 19th. So there was 7 days. And I have no memory of being able to even go and see what he looked like in hospital. This is a child that we all raised. You know, so just imagine that. Or people who have lost their parents, who have not been, like my friend, her stepfather died of COVID. Sorry, I'm getting a bit stressed and emotional. But her stepfather died of COVID, and her mom was not allowed to go into the hospital. So people are just dying alone. So Prince Philip, only Charles went to see him. And that's why they brought him home. Because if he had stayed in hospital, he wouldn't have been able to, people wouldn't have been able to go and see him. So for the funeral as well. So what am I saying now? We've all lost this man. Everybody has had one grief or the other. And everybody, the way you can actually feel kind of a bit of stress relief is to be allowed to come out and go and put your flowers and everybody stand together and just kind of not hug each other, but just, you know, that there's just this kind of comfort you get from numbers. And now they're saying you can't even do that as well. Because you can wear your mask, but now they're saying we can't even do that as well. So it's just, and we can't even see the funeral. Because somehow, tell me if this is warped, but somehow if I can attend that funeral, I will feel like it's a replacement for my nephew's funeral. You know what I mean? People just need to be able to let out that steam one way or the other, is what I'm trying to say. No, we're coming out of lockdown on the 12th, but we've been on lockdown non-stop since November. What am I eating? Okay, I told you already. Yeah, I heard that the USA is open no matter what, and that's why I'm thinking you guys are lucky, man. Yeah, only doctor's appointments. That's what we've got. Oh wow. In Canada, yeah, only doctor. We've got that as well. So yeah, it's just been difficult. So the Prince of the Duke of Edinburgh is dead, and now we're not allowed to take flowers. And the Queen, obviously, she's got her own bigger problems to fry. That's her husband, of 70 years. But we're not going to be able to show him goodbye. They're not even going to have a street procession. Oh my God, what's going on? Is this? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Well, I know what's going on, as in, hey, there's an epidemic going on, but it just seems so severe. Yeah, it seems so severe. It just seems like overkill. But we can't argue with it. If the government thinks they know what they're doing, then we have no choice but to trust the government, because we voted them in, and as citizens, law-abiding citizens, it's our job to obey the law and do what we're told. So as Prince Philip himself would say, it is what it is. Facebook user said it can't be one room for them and one room for, yes. So basically he was not allowed visitors as well. So they and even now I was watching online, the flowers cannot come. What else did they say they were not going to do? But basically they've changed a lot of things because of COVID for his funeral. But let's see what the news is saying. Let's just do another 1 minute of the news, because I can't do the news non-stop because of copyright. So let's just see what they're saying here.
At Windsor Castle earlier, and that's going to be really tough. And you rightly say that the Queen Mother's funeral was different. That was a lying in state. This was going to be a sort of ceremonial funeral, but now even that's being pared down.
So you see, they've pared down the funeral, and they were allowing people to put flowers earlier on, but now they've locked the gate. So people either have to take their flowers home or just leave it on the street. So we're not being allowed to mourn him. So it's almost like a double whammy, like a double loss. He's dead, and now we're not allowed to mourn him properly.
The procession that would have happened in London is now not happening.
No procession.
At Windsor Castle, and people are being told not to gather at Windsor Castle, even on the day of the funeral, because of the pandemic. And that's going to be very difficult to manage, because you'll be going, you're telling people not to follow their instincts if they want to lay some flowers or to gather to remember the Duke.
I think anyone who ever met the Duke or knew the Duke understood that he was a very strong, driven personality.
He was.
And that was true in the family as much as anywhere else. What do you think, in truth, will be the impact of his death after so many years?
I want to make a very important point here, people. Americans don't talk like that. Most don't trust the government. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, we're English people. We do trust our government. Yeah, of course, we have voices of dissent, and there are times when I'm pissed off with the government. But in general, we tend to do what we're told. Now, I want to make a very important point here. Let me go back to Meghan and Harry. When Meghan came here and she saw how difficult things were, one of her thoughts, not one of her thoughts, she actually said it at the Oprah interview. She drew the conclusion that a lot of the things they were doing was because they were racist. And I was trying to make a case when I analyzed the situation some weeks back that, look, the royal family are not racist. They are just staunch traditionalists. In other words, they have rules that they don't break for anybody. They don't break that rule for anybody. Now look at this example today. Prince Philip has served this country for 73 years, if you add when he was engaged to the Queen. He is a white man. He is a member of the royal family. He is of royal descent. He served for 73 years and now he has died, right? They have cancelled all the ceremonies that they had in mind for him. Yeah, they're cousins. That's true. Duke of Edinburgh and Queen Elizabeth, they're distant cousins. But they have cancelled all the pomp and rump for him because of COVID. This is how seriously England takes tradition. Yes, they used to marry their cousins. Some people still marry their cousins, like a lot of Asians and Muslims, they still marry their cousins. But the point I'm trying to make is that they don't, the institution does not, the institution, the people, no, sorry, the institution is more than the individual. Just the same way the government is more than the citizen in this country. The institution is more than the individual. They don't bend their rules for anyone, not even themselves. Not even themselves. So now if Prince Philip was black, wouldn't it be easy to say, oh, well, they don't want to bury him the proper way because he's black, they're racist. No, he's white. But they're still putting the rules in for him. So a lot of those things that happened in those days, during that time when Meghan was here, was just her not understanding how the royal family are and how the British are. We are sticklers for tradition and procedure. The protocol. Go and watch, there's a program, Alice, hold on, let me see if I can find it. Is it Dr. Doolittle? No, what's the doctor? Eliza Doolittle. The film, is it The King and I? There's the film where Eliza Doolittle, and he was singing about protocol, the English and their protocol. Let me look for it. I might share the screen with you. Eliza Doolittle. Doolittle song. My Fair Lady, that's it. About English protocol. English protocol. Man, she just didn't understand. So basically, yeah, My Fair Lady, that's the movie. Yes, My Fair Lady. When you look at the lyrics of the song My Fair Lady, there's a song called is it The Rain is, but basically the man was singing about English protocol. England, one thing we are very good at is protocol. Following Professor Higgins sang the song. Does anybody know the name of the song? Not The Rain in Spain, but there's a song that talks about England and how we are ruled by protocol. Yeah, the movie is My Fair Lady, but there's a no. That's not the name of the song, is it? The Rain in Spain. Right, let me. Yeah, there's a song. Let me look for it. Eliza, Dr. Eliza. No, My Fair Lady. Let's call it My. I want you Americans to see what we are like here. My Fair Lady songs. My Fair Lady songs. The song list. Oh, it's called Why Can't the English? That's the one. Right, here we go, people. Let me play this. Let me teach you about British culture. I'm going to play this song about how we are in England. Don't laugh at us though. It's called Why Can't the English? So Meghan did not understand. Meghan did not understand English and how we are. We are sticklers for protocol. Right, here we go. This is the song. I'm going to play it now. Oh, hold on. Let's get rid of the A Prisoner of the Gutters. She should be hung. She's murdering the English tongue. So I want you to listen when he starts asking a question about the English, okay, and how we are. Okay, here we go. Did you go to school? So we are a stickler for tradition. So when Meghan came and she thought they were being racist, they're not. They're just being English. Did you hear that? An English way of speaking absolutely classifies him. So, oh, you can't hear it. Oh, you can't hear it. Hold on. Oh, really? Hold on. Right, let me hold on, guys. Let me go back and reshare it and add the right, let me reshare it and add the, hold on. Let me add the audio. Sorry, my beautiful people. I forgot to add share audio. Right, here we go. Right, I'm going to rewind this so you can hear it properly. Okay, here we go. Man, way of speaking absolutely classifies him. So it just goes to show you how much the English people like really are so focused on the tradition, even the way they speak, the way they act, everything, and they don't like to break protocol. We don't like to break protocol. So when she came and she was like, oh, can we do this and can we do that, and they're like, no, you can't do this, you can't leave, or you can't, you have to follow this procedure, that procedure. To her, she was like, oh my God, they're treating me really horrible, they must hate me because I'm black. No, they don't hate you because they're black. You're black. They want you to follow the protocol. So look at Prince Philip now. He's dead, and he's even in his death, they're still giving you what protocol. Don't bring flowers. Don't do this. We're going to change the funeral. We're going to, that's how we are. It's got nothing. That's how the English culture is. It's got nothing to do with your race. It's just got to do with the fact that that's what they expect. Those are the rules, and they expect you to follow them. So I'll just play the rest of the song just so you can hear the lyrics.
Leave you close to tears.
Did you hear that? The Scots and the Irish lead you close to tears. That's how proud they are of their the English phonics is what he was talking about there. But yeah, basically it's a thing, right? To ostracize people if they think you're not like them. And it's not usually just, of course there's racism, but it's with her particular case, it wasn't racism. It was just the fact that she couldn't blend in. And if you don't blend in, then you don't stay in. If you don't blend in, you don't stay in.
Places where English completely disappears. Well, in America, they haven't used it for years. Why can't the English teach their...
That was a dig on America, which is really not funny, but that's what they do here with the speaking. So basically, you see him there with his cup of tea and being very, very English in his way. Yeah, it's a great movie. If you haven't watched it, My Fair Lady is really funny. I've watched it so many times. But yeah, so I'm glad that we can laugh, and because today's video is just come chat with me. We're all a bit sad, and thank you for lifting my spirits. At least that's something interesting that we could but that was not the protocol song though. There was one that actually talked about protocol, but I can't remember what the name of that song was, but it's all about protocol. Yeah, the name of the movie, what was I say? What did it say? Right, let's show this. It says they could never make that movie today. Oh yes, people would be very triggered because it was talking about different nationalities and kind of poking fun at them. Yeah, you can't do that now. Those are the old classics. But yeah, so let's see what else they're saying about Prince Philip. If you have anything you want me to mention, because this is we're just hanging out, right? I don't want to make it too sad. But yeah, we're just hanging out. Right, let's see if we can go back to. Can we see Prince Philip now? No, let's put Prince Philip back on.
I think.
Let's put Prince Philip back on. Share screen. I'm gonna do a movie review with you guys where we're gonna watch there's a program called Pride and Prejudice, but it's talking about hypergamy in that film, and basically it looks at how in the old days in England how hypergamy used to work. So whenever there was a rich duke or somebody coming into town, the parents would get the daughters ready to meet whoever this rich guy was, and it was all about how they worked so hard to make sure that their children married rich men. So here
the
we go.
Queen
Let's
is
see what
now
else he's saying.
missing somebody who she has relied upon in such a great way since she became Queen at such a young age, at 25 in 1952, upon the sudden death of her father. He's been there as the rock, the confidant, the debater, the antagonizer, whatever it is. He's been there at her side, and officially, yes, as the consort to the Queen, and he's the longest consort that this country's ever had. But also unofficially as well, when the doors are closed. So even when he's been retired, he's been around. I remember seeing him at Sandringham on the day of what was called the Sandringham Summit, when the royal family gathered to work out what to do about Harry and Meghan's wish to leave. He didn't take part in the official proceedings, but you can bet your bottom dollar he had a word with the Queen over breakfast about what she should or shouldn't say at that meeting.
That's true.
She doesn't have that anymore. And I think anyone who has been widowed will understand the loss that happens at a time like this. Was this unexpected? Of course not. He was 99 years of age. He would have been 100 in June. But the impact on the family will be a much more dramatic change, I think. It was already changing. Prince Charles was already taking along a lot more of the responsibilities, appearing alongside his mother where his father used to appear.
So what they're saying here is that the impact of his death, or somebody said, be sure to remind people to subscribe to. Yes, please subscribe to my channel, people. I'm almost at 1K. I just need about 50 people more. Thanks, Jessica, for reminding me. I get so carried away. Guys, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, press the notification, because once I hit 1,000 subs, I want to do a lot more lives where I'm going to call them commentaries, but I'm going to be commenting on a lot of movies, but a lot of the movies are going to be about hypergamy, about dating, about all the topics that whenever I see an example of something that I think is relevant to us as ladies who want to learn about it, I'll make the video and we can watch it together, now that I know how to use StreamYard, and we can watch it. And as long as I only show 1.5 minutes and then comment, and show 1.5 minutes and then comment, then I'm not breaking copyright. So yeah, please subscribe. Thank you, Jessica, for reminding me. Please subscribe. We're almost there. Somebody said, you don't really know what you're asking for. Said, I like what you said. Oh, let me just show this. That's about the subscription. You don't really want what you're asking me for. Said, I like what you said, and about the prince and the duke never bringing any scandal with or for the queen. No, he never brought any scandal to the queen, which is what I'm saying. That's what makes him a man. He was an incredibly alpha man, alpha in every word. He is not a simp and he's not a beta, or was not. He was a very strong man. He was the head of so many, like Amanda said, so many charities. He was very well respected. He was 6 foot plus tall, and the queen is only little. But he respected her and he respected her office. He was just like so supportive of her. And I was going to give you an example before the internet went off. Whenever they were in gatherings, right? This is what one of the commentators said. Whenever they're in gatherings, the queen, and he was always there, he would always stand in a corner. He would always stand in a corner. And the queen would be doing her normal head of state duties, and everybody would be, shaking her hand and talking to her. And so they had this thing, this code, which I think is really sweet, whereby whenever she's feeling a bit overwhelmed, right, of the work and everything, she had this thing where she would look up and look round, and they had a code where she would look up and she would see him in the corner, and he was always waiting. And the man who told us this story today said he accompanied them on so many engagements over the years, and he always used to stand and chat with him, because he had to stay in the corner and chat, because he was not the guest of honor, she was. But he said one thing he always noticed is that whenever the queen, he would be chatting with anybody, his friends in the corner, but he was always keeping an eye out for the queen. And whenever the queen is a bit tired and she looks up, and he could see that she's looking around for a bit of emotional support, that whenever she looks around, and then as soon as she sees him, her face will be light up, like she will see him. And then he had this thing where as soon as he noticed that she's looking around and looking for him, he will raise his glass like this so that she can see it, and then he will go and then wink at her and say, "You're doing well, carry on, you're doing well, I'm here, I'm watching you, you're doing well." And that was what he used to do to support her. Nobody knew, but he always used to look around. As soon as she looked up, and he would just raise a toast to her like that from across the room. No, but it was their secret code. He would raise the glass and go, "You're doing well, you're doing well," and then she'll feel okay, and then she'll continue with what she was doing. He said that every time they went out together, and he was accompanying the Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, that he always used to look out for his wife and give her a wink of support and raise a toast to her to say, "I've got you, babe. You just keep doing what you're doing. I'm watching you. I've got you, babe." And that used to make her feel so supported. So I thought that was very sweet. Yeah, I know we're going to be knocking 1K soon. Don't you think that that's a sweet story and a sweet anecdote? Because people just think, oh, those little silent languages between them, people just think, oh, she was the one doing it all. But no, he was a very, very big support to her. So now, how is she going to cope without that? I don't even want to think the unthinkable. Typing is so far. Oh, don't worry about that. No man's going to do that now. I know. She's going to be a widow now with nobody to give her that support. And one of my I've known about 2 or 3 couples like that who were married for like 60 years. They just can't take it when one person goes, but I pray for her. All the doctors are going to be checking her out anyway. They're going to make sure she's okay. They're going to make sure she's okay. But it's a big blow. No man is doing that now. I know the men now, most of the men, not all, but especially if you want to talk about the ones that are online on YouTube, like KS and all that are saying that men are supposed to not support women. Women are supposed to only give sex, silence, and sandwiches. Can you imagine if a man like that, would that man be able to be a consort to a woman? Or these men who think that if you're lovely, nice to your wife, you're a simp. Can you call Prince Philip a simp? Of course he's not a simp. He's a big, real alpha men treat women well. Real alpha men don't shout at real alpha men. Can you imagine somebody like Jeff Bezos coming onto the internet to say, "Oh, all women are bad and all women, shut up, just make me sandwiches, keep quiet, have babies, 22, marry a 40-year-old, have babies, be quiet, be skinny, have sex with me after 3 dates, blah, blah, blah." Can you imagine a real man coming to say that on the internet? Yeah, somebody was saying, yeah, my best friend's parents died 6 weeks apart. Yeah, the word simp is disrespectful, but that's a lot of men who are themselves the simp seem to take pleasure in calling men who treat their wives well as beaters and simp, because they think that if a man, like I made a video one time about the 20 qualities of good man, and I was saying about how a man, like just standing in the corner while your wife is the guest of honor and raising a toast and giving her a wink to make her feel better, or when a man is having sex with his partner, how he should be interested that she's satisfied and he should do all he can to make sure that she's happy. They're going to say that the man is being a simp. That's not being a simp. That's being a sensitive, caring, loving partner. I don't know since when men, or not all men, since when these type of men, they call themselves the red pill men, decided that being nice to your wife is a negative trait. Yes, being nice to your wife is supposed to be a negative trait. Somebody said, Jessica said, many men don't want to be men or don't even know how to be men. Exactly. Thanks for the discussion. It was interesting to understand the English. Yeah, that's how we are. We are a little bit we are very more likely than not tend to be a bit more rules oriented. We follow rules a lot. Like we queue and we if we go to the market and even when there's nobody there, we just go to the market, we queue. You know, we're good at queuing, we're good at just doing what we're told. No, they've never called Stedman a simp to his face, but these red pill men that we have on YouTube at the moment probably thinks he's a simp. They probably think because he's so nice and so caring that he's a simp, because I have seen it, especially people like KS. Their view of a man is that he doesn't want your child, he doesn't want you to be fat, he doesn't want you to talk too much, sex sandwich silence. He doesn't even have to be good in bed. The last video said that, why do you want a high value man to be good in bed as well? The other one said, oh, he shouldn't date you unless he's guaranteed he's going to have sex. It's kind of bordering on kind of misogyny. It is kind of bordering. Some of his messages are okay, but the most recent one basically is that a woman's job is to give the man sex, shut up, cook, get pregnant, have babies, shut up some more, give him sex, don't expect to enjoy it, then shut up some more, expect to be cheated on, he's going to have exercise options and cheat with everybody, then shut up some more, then don't expect him to be, don't go to school, because if you have a PhD, then you're not good enough you're not good enough for a man, then shut up some more, then don't get fat, then shut up some more, don't have an opinion, then shut up some more. So if a woman does everything he's teaching, she's going to be an empty shell of nothing, because she's not going to speak unless she's speaking to say your food is ready. She's not going to speak to say I'm not happy, because he's a high value man, and high value men are too busy running their companies. They don't care how you feel. In his universe, the world doesn't owe you anything. The world doesn't owe you any sympathy. In his universe, all stepkids will be shot or killed. Nobody will inherit stepchildren. In his universe, all women will be dead and men will be able to look after themselves properly. In his universe, even there are no female inventors, which we know is rubbish. In his universe, a woman like me should not come onto his show, because he said that to me. Because you're 50, you're past it. It's not your business. You shouldn't be on my show talking about this. You've been married, you've had grandchildren. What are you doing here? Hello, sir. You're 2 years older than me. If I shouldn't be here and I'm 50, what the fuck? Oh, excuse my language. If I shouldn't be here, sorry, excuse my language. If I shouldn't be here and you're 50, what the F are you doing on a platform at 52? It's like point is all the women's fault. But he doesn't realize that everything is accusing the women of is what he is as well. He always says, oh, you're coming with signs, you're coming with insult signs. Something insults, guilt, and name calling, whatever. But that's exactly what he's doing to the women as well. Yeah, I do watch him a lot for giggles. I used to take him a little bit seriously when I first thought that his message was to stop women from, we kind of digress from Prince Philip now, and was to stop women from having babies outside wedlock, which I agree with if you can help it. If it's happened to you already, that's not a big deal. If you're fat already, then lose weight, because I have a treadmill. If you have a baby already, fine. But you can still meet somebody, because when I was watching Ready to Love, which is an American dating show, almost 90% of the people on the show had kids, the men and the women, and most of them were over 30. So if his view is that which shows me that his view that dating after 30 is almost dead is not true, because a lot of the contestants on those shows were quite mature people. Some of them with 2, 3, 4 children. Some of the guys had 5 children by different baby mamas. It didn't stop them trying to look for love. And many of them were attorneys, had good jobs and everything. Yeah, you watched the video audio when I called in. He refused to listen and cut me off without letting me speak. And that is his tactics when he speaks to anybody. He did it to Kendra G. So he has his narrative. Just the way you're talking now on my platform, I don't shut anybody up. If you come and you say anything that's insulting, I'll explain myself to you, or I'll say let's agree to disagree. But when you mute the other side from speaking, that's almost like a form of mutiny, and that's not. Can you imagine? Okay, let me give you an example. Can you imagine going to court, right, and going to a judge, and you want to argue an argument, or you want to go to a jury? There's always 2 sides, right? One side is going to argue their point, the other side is going to argue their point. Normal rules of engagement for any kind of argument all over the world demands that the rule of engagement is that you state your argument or your opinion, you shut up and you let the other side state their opinion, and then you summarize your side and the other side summarizes their side, and you leave the observers to make up their mind based on those discussions. That's how the normal rule of engagement for debate is supposed to be done. If you look at the presidential debate, one side will speak, the other side. Okay, we know that during Trump's time, he kind of was always interrupting Biden, but you could tell that the guy who was managing the debate, what was he called again? Not the umpire, compare, whatever, I can't remember. Was trying to tell him not to do that. But in Kevin's case, Kevin Samuels, he uses the mute button. He states what he wants to state. He waits for you to say 1 to 2 words, and if those 2 words are not what he wants you to say, he'll mute you and tell you stop, and then he'll start firing questions at you. And if you don't answer it the way buy a dog, die alone, if you're over 45 and 5 LB, exactly. Over a man's way, oh yes, exactly. So if you don't say what he wants you to say, he'll cut you off. And he said to me, oh, you mean you're married with kids and everything? Then why are you interested? I said, I'm interested because I've got a daughter and I've got people that follow me. I didn't get to say it because he muted me, but why am I interested? I'm 50 and I've got children that are in their 20s. And he goes, oh, you're past it. No, I'm not past it. I'm in a relationship. But he fails to understand that under normal logic, if you think a 50-year-old woman is past it, then in effect, you're saying that you're past it because you're 52. You're 2 years older than me. So if I'm past it, then logically, just by virtue of you being 2 years older than me, you're past it too. So you shouldn't be on the platform. He doesn't get it. And that's why he's always trying to justify himself by saying it's a fair, and what's that word normally? He's always saying it's a fair, not contradiction. Oh God, my brain is a bit slow today. He'll tell you it's a fair, not hypocritical. You know when you're saying double standards, that's the one. He'll say it's a fair double standard. Yeah, it's a double standard, but it's allowed. It's a double standard, but it's allowed. So a woman who has a child is useless to a man, but a man who has a child is not useless to a woman. That's a double standard. A woman who's overweight is probably not going to get a man, but he never talks about men who are overweight not getting women. That's another double standard. He thinks that he can get 20-year-olds, but he doesn't think that older women can get younger guys. Of course they can. It happens every day. You know, so those are the double standards that maybe, and even though he's funny and he's done a good job for growing his channel, I've only got 1,000, he's got 600,000. But I think the thing that people like is just the comedy, and people like the comedy, and people like the entertainment and all the thing that he does. No, his followers, I don't think are the best. The men, his male followers are basically red pill guys who have all been damaged in one way or the other. They've either been damaged by being in with no fathers, because Kevin's not had a father figure. They've either had no fathers. They've either been jilted by loads of women. They either have small penises. They're usually the kind of guys that were not chosen when they were younger by the pretty girls, and so this is their time for the revenge. Guys like that are guys that are coming from a place of a lot of hurt. Because like I always brag about my brothers, right? I'll show you my brothers. There's 5 of them in this picture. No, sorry, there's 4 of them in this picture, but 2 of them live in Nigeria. I'll show you my brothers. I have 6 brothers. Let's see if I can find a picture. Let me see if I can find a picture of me and my brothers. So I have 6 brothers. They're all happy. I mean, this is us just chilling in my mom's. Where is it? Right, so this is me, and that's me. I don't know if you can. Where is that? Right, so those are my brothers. Those are me. That's me. That was taken a year ago, a couple of years ago. But you can see that I have 4 of my brothers here and 2 living. The rest are in Nigeria. Yeah, but this is us just at my mom's house. So my brothers we're just hanging out. So we're not dressed up or anything. We're hanging out at my mom's house. Me and my brothers, yeah, they make themselves feel better about their situation with women. My brothers are all married, and none of them are rude to their wives. All my brothers can cook except one. Yeah, my brother Nelson cannot boil an egg to save his life. He's totally spoiled. But all my other brothers can cook. They cook for their wives. Only one of them has a wife that works. The rest, their wives don't work. They have kids. They've been married. All of them. My youngest brother has been married now for about 16 years. So all of them have been married for a long time. So none of them behave, because they all grew up in a very stable environment. So none of them think that women are useless or that women are to be disrespected, because they've not been hurt. They've not been hurt. But a lot of Kevin's followers are men that have been hurt, and they feel. Now here's my brother and his wife. Let me see if I can find a picture of him and his wife. They feel like they've been hurt, and so let me see. My brother. I'm so proud of my brothers. They're just such wonderful guys. How do I get the media? Wait, let me see if I can find the media of my brother. I wanted to show you a picture of his wife. She has never worked. Okay, let me see if I can find it through her pictures. Because I sometimes delete media from my phone. Yeah, no photo. I delete media from my phone because it takes up too much space. But let me go to my Google Photos. Yeah, so a lot of the guys on his platform are guys who have been hurt. Real men who have not been traumatized actually value women. A lot of the guys who don't value women or who have negative thoughts about women are guys that have been hurt in the past. And the same thing applies to men. Kevin's net worth is $6 million. He'll be fine. Yeah, no, Kevin is going to have money because we're not talking about his money. We're not talking about his money. You don't really want to know. He has money. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that for a man that has such a big platform to have such negative thoughts towards women of his own kind, and for him to have a feeling that he's not just saying some women, but when he passes his message, it's almost like he's saying all BWs are the negative way that he's putting it across is unfair on BWs. I don't want to say it because of the algorithm. Just the same way I cannot say because I had a bad experience with one BM that means that all BMs are bad. You can't do that. You can't do that, is what I'm trying to say. And the people on his platform are hurt. That's why they're saying what they say. That's my wedding picture. That's when I got married, when I was 21. See, I was a chubby bride. Can you see? Okay, let's take this away. I was a chubby bride. And my husband, you could see, was very slim and tall when I got married. Many moons ago. So I actually lost all the weight after I got married. And that is why I used to tell people that you're not going to have a problem finding a guy if you're big. Who died? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, there's been news that DMX has passed away as well. I know he was on life support because he had an overdose. Oh, sorry, ladies, and more bad news. Apparently, DMX has now passed away as well. Oh my God, today is a bit of a day, isn't it? Yeah. He. You ladies in America, you know that DMX had a decades and decades of struggle. Just because one person gave him weed. Yeah, they said the guy, when he was about 14, a guy gave him weed that was laced with crack or heroin or something. You come and let them see you. Let me show you my beautiful daughter. Look, show them your little skin. Look at her. Look at her. With waist bead and all. Wait now. Come now. Bend down. I call her Elebiele. Isn't she cute? She's so cute. She's only 16. Say hello to them now. Look at her nails. Look at. Wait, hold on. Let them see your nails. Look at her nails. No, they can't see it. Do like this. Look at her nails, and then show them your flutter eyelashes. Her lashes are like wigs. They're so big. Your eyelashes are like weave on. So what's your view about men? Are women supposed to be quiet in the house and not say anything when they have men?
No, you're meant to say what you feel, isn't it? And do what you want to do.
You're meant to say what you feel and do what you. So what about this thing whereby if you go for a date and on the third day you're supposed to have sex with the man? What do you think about that?
I don't think anything about that.
Do you think it's rubbish?
Yes.
She thinks it's rubbish. God, I look ridiculous. Oh, I look dreadful. I look dreadful next to you, babe. I look really like crap next to you. You're showing me up. So there's Heaven. So sorry to say, yeah, she's gorgeous, isn't she? Yeah, DMX. I know. Rest in peace, DMX. Yeah, people should. I know we're not talking about his money. Yeah, he has money. He said he was a high value man before, but I think he made most of his money. But I will not lie to you, right? I cannot have a go at Kevin Samuels for making money off the internet, because even me, when I become monetized, if the advertisers decide they want to give me money, of course I'm not going to say no. People making money is not a problem, but it's the message. It's the message that I have a problem with. My girl has now made me feel so self-conscious about having a face with no makeup. And you just showed me up. I'm looking like a house girl next to you. So yeah. Yeah, so that was my. I'm gonna come off soon anyway, but Kevin, 6 months. Yeah, he's got money. He looks good. I mean, I don't know. People say, "Oh, this gay or no gay." I don't know, but he looks. I will not take it away from him that he looks crisp. I like his setup. I like the pendulum. I was even checking the price of that pendulum. So don't be surprised one day if you see that I've set up something and I have my own pendulum. I like all that. You know, I can disagree with people, but still like the good parts. I just because I disagree with somebody's message doesn't mean that I'm just gonna diss them completely. He's lost a lot of weight. He looks okay, but his message to women is dangerous. And if there are any young ladies watching, please, you don't need to give a man sex after 3 dates. In fact, you don't need to have sex with a man until you're ready and until you know that you're exclusive, right? Isn't that what I tell you? Until you know that you're exclusive. That's what I told my daughter. And he has to even come and let me see him so that I can even vet him very well. We'll vet him, we'll check his background, check his parents, everything before. And when we know that he's okay, then we can allow it. People need to look into their own lives. One person on the internet, YouTube, shouldn't hold the gospel. I know, but a lot of them don't even have their own words, these men or the women who follow him. They're just like, oh, they literally speak his words verbatim. So when you say something and they don't agree, they'll say something like, they'll quote him word for word. They don't even have their own words. Yeah, DMX. Yeah, that's sad news. It's been a day and a half, hasn't it? They say you're beautiful. That my blood inside your body, eh? That my blood inside your body. It didn't waste. It didn't go to waste. You know? Money equals high value. I mean, money doesn't equal high value. Yeah, no. No. Trump is a rich guy, but he doesn't necessarily have good morals from the things that we've seen and how he used to grab VJJs and all that kind of nonsense. No, I don't think he's not decent. He has value monetarily, but he's not morally decent based on his beliefs and his behavior. So, ladies, I think we've kind of talked. I'm gonna be on. Please, ladies, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, please. Let me see what number we're on. You might need to share it with your friends as well. How many subscribers do I have, Heaven? Can you check my? Let me check. How many subscribers we have now? Yeah, so we need 52 more. We need 52 more subscribers to make it to the 1,000. 52 more, so yeah, okay, 53 more. We need 53 more subscribers. So share it with your friends. I'm sure there are some of your friends that would like some of the videos, even if it's not the lives, because the lives are too long. They might like the shorter videos, which are the 20-minute videos and the 30-minute videos, or share it in your groups. Let's just get up. Because when I'm in 1,000, I can do my community posts to warn you about when next I'm going to be on, to do polls about different topics. I want to be able to do polls. I want to be able to warn people about when I'm coming on. It just makes the interaction a little bit more like Facebook or Instagram. You can post pictures. You can do a lot more stuff, which is good for the algorithm and all that. So, right. So it's 1 hour, 58 minutes. I'm going to go and put my good face on, maybe go for a walk. I think I will probably get Heaven. I think today is going to be a wine day because of the news of Prince Phillip and DMX. You know that whenever I have any kind of emotional day, I usually have to have myself some wine. So today is going to be a wine day. 9:40. Yeah, so I'll probably go out and get myself a bottle of wine and have the whole bottle and sleep away my sorrows. Because whenever I have an emotionally upsetting day, I used to drink a lot of wine every day, but I've stopped. I don't drink every day anymore. I've literally stopped. But whenever, let me show you my weight. So whenever I've stopped drinking so much wine, and what's happened since I stopped drinking so much wine, as you can see, is there's now, if you look at my trousers, there's now a big gap. There's now a big gap, like almost 4 inches of gap on my waist. So I'm looking much smaller. See, that's all from all that walking I've been doing since January, and since I stopped drinking so much wine, my trousers are now all loose. So me and my daughter, we're on a weight loss competition, although she's trashing me at the moment because she's lost a lot more. But I'm pleased to say that there's a huge gap on my trousers, and that's from me just walking every day. So another thing I had in mind was that I have a cross trainer, which was delivered 4 days ago, or about 4 days ago. I bought a new cross trainer. So the plan is, I was thinking, should I be doing some videos live so that those who want to lose weight, if I do 20 minutes or so on my cross trainer live, it might motivate other people to do it. But I was walking every day, 10K. I walked almost 300 kilometers in January, 250 kilometers in February, and about 300 kilometers in March. And I've lost about 15 pounds. And that's why you can see my face. Before, my face used to be puffier. My face is not as puffy anymore. And I stopped drinking wine. But because of today's event, I will drink 1 bottle of wine and then go back to my diet tomorrow. And I'll see you guys at the live tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow's live is about men, money, and I'll try and look for a video for us to watch together as well so that we can chat about that. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. Don't forget to share. We just need 50 more. 50 more. All right, my lovelies. Take care and bye.